As more Americans grow very frustrated with the Obamacare rollout, a recently uncovered government report shows White House officials knew all along that millions of Americans would lose coverage. This week, one lawmaker raised the issue on the House floor.
The Obamacare train wreck continues. In 2009, President Obama promised that if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. It still promises that on the White House website and on the healthcare.gov website, if and when you can get on that website.
Joining me now is that Republican Congressman Andy Harris from Maryland. He serves on the House Appropriations Committee, the Health and Human Services Subcommittee. He's also a physician and a member of the Doctors Caucus. Congressman, thanks for being with us. You know, that promise that the president made, it always seemed impossible, and yet he kept saying it over and over again hundreds of times. Well, now we have this documented proof that all along his administration knew that what he was saying was untrue. And in fact, I want to put it up on the screen. Here are their predictions. This is the Federal Register, June 17, 2010. They predicted 45% of big employers will drop health care plans, 60% of small employers will do the same, 40 to 67% of individual plans canceled. Total, 93 million Americans would lose their health plans. Sir, is this evidence that President Obama was dishonest in making his promise?
Very clearly, the president misled the American public, and this week, even Secretary Sebelius coming before the committee acknowledged that this was deceit.
And in fact, in a speech on Wednesday in Boston, the president said, well, all those terminations were, quote, a central premise of the Affordable Care Act from the very beginning. Sir, isn't that an admission that the president himself knew from the beginning that what he was promising was simply untrue?
I think that's true. You know, there are two explanations. The president either knew and was intentionally deceitful, or he was ignorant of the fact, and neither explanation is very good.
Well, actually, I would count three possibilities here. Either the president, intentionally made claims he knew to be false, or he made claims recklessly. I mean, he just didn't care about the truth of it, or he was, as you mentioned, misinformed. And we may never know, because he likely won't say, but in that Boston speech, he blamed the insurance companies for canceling millions of health plans. Of course, he ignored the fact that the carriers were forced to do that under the requirements of his new law. I mean, Congressman, isn't that like blaming the train in a train wreck?
Absolutely. You know, he blamed it on the bad apple insurance companies, which are the same insurance companies that he's using in his exchanges. So this makes no sense whatsoever, except that the president knew what was going on. He knew that millions and millions of policies were going to be canceled, and the replacements were going to be much more expensive policies. We're getting dozens and dozens of letters from people in my district every single day about canceled policies with the replacements costing thousands of dollars or more for each family.
Yeah, we've talked to so many here on Fox News. In fact, Neil Cavuto interviewed a woman yesterday, loved her plan. It was affordable, she said, but it got canceled, and now her premium per month has doubled. Look, and the president is making no apologies for any of that, for his failed promise. No apology to the millions of Americans losing their health plans. Instead, he had this to say to those who are getting millions of cancellation letters. Take a listen.
The system is more secure for you, and it's more secure for everybody. So if you're getting one of these letters, just shop around in the new marketplace. That's what it's for.
Well, assuming you can shop around, but just go shop around. Forget the fact that you got canceled. I mean, isn't that, Congressman, sort of the equivalent of, okay, I lied or I was wrong. Get over it. Deal with it, people.
Look, it's let them eat cake. I mean, the fact of the matter is that the president, I hope he realizes that when these people shop for policies on the exchanges, they're going to pay 30, 40, 50% more, and some people twice and three times as much as the policies they had. The president says, you know, those policies were no good, but who is the president to decide what's good for an individual and their family?
Yeah, especially if they like what they have. And there's a great deal to be said for many of these catastrophic health care insurance policies. I have a friend out in California who's had a policy for 25 years, never once made a claim, and he loved his policy. He lost his policy. But look, the president's top aide at the White House, Valerie Jarrett, tweeted the following: "There is nothing in Obamacare, nothing that forces people out of their health plans." Isn't that blatantly untrue? Obamacare regulations indeed require these EHB, enhanced health benefits. Any plan doesn't have EHB, and millions of plans do not, are therefore illegal, and that forces people out of their plans.
Absolutely. Look, it's just as true, it's just as untrue as when the president said, if you like your plan, you can keep it, period. You can't keep it because the government has decided that those plans are not good enough for you, even if you have had it for years and years, and it's exactly the plan that fits you and your family and your budget. The president and Valerie Jarrett and the rest have decided it's just not good enough for you.
They are blaming Republicans for all of this, you know. I mean, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, that's amazing since no Republican voted for the plan, and they say, well, we didn't give them enough money to implement, but they had a 600% cost overrun on that website. It's costing $600 million when it was supposed to cost less than $100 million. They had plenty of money.
Congressman Andy Harris, also a doctor. Thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure.
All right.